Someone's battery's low, yeah. Close. Someone's battery's layer close. That's interesting.
Great, thanks everyone. We are going to get underway with Dean first, and then Anref will follow. Anref will be in Barbara for tomorrow at 6 a.m. So just a reminder, one question at a time, please. We will take follow-ups once everyone else has had a go, and just a reminder to please keep your phones on silent. With that, who would like to kick us off? Grace?
Hi, Dean. And Dean, you've been saying throughout the last couple of months, that you guys are following particular processes and you thought that your style of cricket was developing. Did you think things would happen so quickly in this test match, and where do you think you really stood out in terms of all the things you've done over the last few months that sort of came to a head in this match?
It's quite a question. Obviously everything has been a work in progress since I've taken over the captaincy, but I always felt the core of the group always had the basic fundamentals of one day becoming a world-known test side. A lot of those are the senior players, and those guys have risen over the last year to 18 months as well as individuals, and I think they, as team people, they've really they've put their individual stuff aside and they've actually focused personally on the team, and I think that's the responsibility that we've given them as well from our capacity as well. I think everything happens for a reason, I guess, over the last year. But I'd like to think what we've laid down as foundation has been pretty true and pretty solid. It hasn't been fake. It's been pretty unique. It's been real. It hasn't been something that I feel is far-fetched. And these are purely our team goals that I have with the coaches. So it's not unrealistic. It's pretty achievable. But I know us as a players group, we a special bunch, and we play bloody good cricket when we're doing well. So and hopefully long may it continue. It's been a pretty special journey so far, and hopefully it continues getting stronger.
Thanks, Dean.
Just your thoughts on the win. How good does it feel? You said you wanted to play some strong, smart cricket before the game. Do you feel your team delivered on that?
Yeah, they were brilliant. Sure, there are a few guys that obviously had some individual performances, but I'm not gonna pinpoint those guys. I think a lot of guys influenced in moments where there were pressure situations, be it a slip catch or good stop that influenced the next ball or the outcome of maybe a potential wicket. I think our batting was pretty solid, especially our middle to late order, that they really came out and played the situation to a T, and that's the kind of awarenesses that I'm trying to create with the guys, and they need to identify those moments and play the game as they see it, and that's the kind of nature that I want the guys to they need to learn those things and fail along the way as well. Luckily, it didn't happen this game that there was a failure, for instance, but there's a lot of learning still going forward for everyone. It was a great win. I didn't wake up this morning thinking that I'll be doing a presser before 5 o'clock. I definitely didn't think that. A pretty special performance. Squad performance. We haven't left a stone unturned so far, and hopefully we don't go into a comfort zone now. And I'm definitely not going to make us go into a comfort zone, because I know what complacency can do in international sports. So, hopefully we enjoy it. We need to enjoy these moments. We did it at a really unique place as well. A sold-out Lords on a Friday. It's pretty big, and it's special for a lot of guys that haven't experienced that before. So, we need to enjoy the next 2 days and then focus on the next test.
Just wondering for you as captain, your thoughts or feelings on being able to captain that kind of attack where you've got so many different kinds of bowling or different skills to call on. And I mean, even today when you called on Maharaj, who we might not have necessarily thought we'd see as early as we did in the game, and it had immediate results. Just can you give some insight into what it's like to captain that attack?
I'd like to think my margin for error is a lot bigger, having 4 fast bowlers, and our number 3 and 4 fast bowlers are the fastest out of the 4, and it's pretty nice to have that. But again, you still have to have pretty sound game plans going into that. The bowlers need to know their roles as well. They need to adapt to situations, which I'm very big on. And then you got Kesh, who's world class himself. He just operates in his own zone. He's an absolute gun when it comes to him operating as a cricketer. He's brilliant to have in the team. So yeah, it's nice having those luxuries, but by no means it's an end product. I want them to still getting better. Like, I need them to achieve more. I need them to want to achieve more. And I think once they all buy into that, which I'm sure they're doing with great victories like this, we're going to be a pretty special bowling attack.
Dean, it seemed from a tactical and strategic point of view that just an awful lot of things went right. And starting with team selection, I could be imagining all of this, but with bowling changes and field placings and specific plans, it just seemed like, I don't know. I mean, a lot of those are captaincy decisions, but there's a backup analysis team, isn't there, as well? And the second question, what did you think of the FTP when it came out?
To the second question, I haven't really. I just know we're playing 28 tests in 5 years, which, I guess we could be playing more. It's a sad thing, but so be it. I can't say too much about that because I might get into trouble. And what was the first question again, Manners?
A lot of strategic and tactical things
Yeah.
go right. I mean, just.
Yeah, a lot of homework goes into that. There's a lot of behind the scenes. We've got a seriously good coaching staff with a lot of experience, and I don't think they get a lot of credit. I've always been a massive fan of the group that Boucher has added to our coaching staff. Yeah, and a lot of work goes behind the scenes. And a lot of info gets past my side, and it's up to me if I want to use it or not. But I know they're doing it for the best. They want me to do well. They want me to make the right decisions for the side going forward. And I'll be an idiot not to use that info that comes my way. So yeah, it's not just solely me. It's also them. It's definitely not a Dean Elgar show. I can promise you that. There's a lot of great cricketing brains within our backroom staff, and yeah, they're great to have around. And things work out. Cricket, sometimes you got to take a gut feel, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And a lot of luck has to go on your side as well. But I think at that point in time, when you're doing those small things, it's working out for you because you're ahead of the game, and you almost get away with it more times than none. So when you're chasing the game, you're going to be a little bit more conservative, and you're going to try and pull it back a little bit more, and you're not going to make those bold decisions. So when you're ahead of the game, it maybe gives you a little bit more freedom for those decision making.
Dean, the conditions on the first day, I'm sure, were a major influence in your decision to bowl first. But considering the way England have played this summer at home, was there any, and of course your bowlers backed you up after you made that decision, but was there any thought to, I'm not going to let these buggers bat last? Did you think of that at all?
No, that was firmly playing our game. What they've done in the summer, it hasn't influenced my trail of thought. I literally went with the gut, but you have no idea what was going through my head on day one when we got here and it was overcast, and then 15 minutes later it's bloody sun shining and you're like, what is going on here now? And yeah, I went with my guts. Our strength is our bowling, and I thought the best conditions for bowling was on day one, and KG really brought it. That's why he's a Rabada. He's an absolute machine when it comes to rising to the occasion for big matches. And yeah, he put his hand up and he took the bull by the horns, and he ran with it, and he was brilliant and kind of made my decision a lot easier. I'm more a pro bat first captain. I like putting runs on the board first. I think it's important, but sometimes you got to go horses for courses, and you got to respect the conditions that are in front of you and where you're playing as well. So everything was saying ball first. but yeah, I was still looking to bat first. But having chats with the guys behind the scenes, the coaches and that, I think they swayed my decision to bowl first, and it paid off, luckily. But the conditions were pretty brilliant for bowling.
Well played. Lots of your team haven't had the opportunity to play a huge amount of red ball cricket, but you seem to come into the test looking, perfectly well prepared. Everyone looked, fast bowlers looked fantastic straight away. What is it that you've done then over the last few weeks to sort of peak at the perfect time?
Well, I know a lot of the guys have been with the squad. It's been white ball cricket, obviously, in the UK for the start of the series. But building up to that, I asked for a camp for the guys that weren't with the white ball and obviously joining the red ball. So we did have an extended camp before the guys joined us in Canterbury. Yeah, and I just think we worked on the basics. Our coaches obviously set out a good structure for us to work through the first few days before the rest of the guys joined us. And yeah, we just ran with it. Obviously, we got a pounding in the warm-up game, but for me, that the exercise was a lot better than the outcome of the match. We got time in the legs, bowlers bowled. We rested a few of our big bowlers, who were more times than none going to be our starting 11 bowlers. So yeah, we just went through the basics of prepping for a series. I can't say anything special was done. I think we just nailed our basics, and yeah, even though everyone's making a hoo-ha about the warm-up game, for me it was a great exercise for guys to get time in the legs. For me, I hadn't played cricket for 3.5 months. That was my first game back, and I had to go chase leather the whole day. And yeah, the body's a bit sore still from that, but I mean, it was a good exercise nonetheless. But yeah, we still had a very good training schedule that the coaches set out for us to achieve, and yeah, we did it pretty well.
Dean, specifically on today's play, when you brought Keshav on when you did, what was the thinking behind that, and can you just talk a little bit about the field placings and kind of the way you guys planned around that?
Yeah, purely gut. Again, it can go your way or it can't. Luckily it did. I know Zach Rawley is not potentially very good against left-arm spin. No disrespect to him, but I mean, the stats don't lie. So yeah, I just went with a gut feel, and I thought, maybe the guys might relax a little bit going into lunch, and we might just get a wicket here. And luckily, it was on our side. It was purely my thinking out of it, and if it didn't go my way, I would have been okay with it. Knowing that we've got so much more time in the game left, and we've got to play a lot of cricket still, but it went our way, luckily. And then Kesh just settled in, and it's difficult to get Kesh off when he's bowling like that, because he doesn't want to stop bowling, and he's actually becomes a bit of a pain, because you're like, we can maybe bowl some seamers here, and he's like, nah, I'm bowling. So yeah, luckily that paid off for us, and yeah, it's just one of those things where you got to make decisions on the field, and if your gut says this, you got to go with it or not, and yeah, it paid off.
Yeah, hi, Dean. Yeah, as you have rightly said, that South Africa should play more red ball cricket in
Yeah.
the FTP and all.
A lot more.
Yeah, exactly. So in the current World Test Championship cycle, now after this victory, if I'm not wrong, you are at the top of the table now. So how big a motivation is that? Like, you are now in with a chance to come back at the Lords next summer and play the final with 4 teams chasing 2 spots.
Yeah, I think it's a good reflection of what we've done the last year. For me, it's a good reflection. For the players, they shouldn't be looking into it too much. You need to play every game for your test side like it's your last game. That's my kind of mantra when it comes to that thing. Yeah, we've played good cricket. That's why I think we've got that ranking, and it's a reflection on the individuals and the brand of cricket and our team system that we have at the moment. It's a great reflection. But yeah, I look at it still. There's room for improvement, and always going to try and find a negative somewhere. I think that's my job. Even when things are going well, you got to look for a negative. But yeah, I think it's good, and it's going to be hard work to stay in that position. But if we keep playing the way we've been playing and conducting ourselves on and off the field, worrying about the small things, worrying about the cricket that we play, caring for each other like we do, I think more times than none that will look after itself.